Welcome to Off the Cut, a podcast where we talk about building, making,
and answering all of your questions.
I'm Eric from Spenceley Design Co.
And I'm Zach from Zach Builds. If you have a question that you would like us to answer on air, you can send it to offthecutpodcast@gmail.com.
You can find both of us on YouTube, Instagram, and unfortunately, because we have to keep up with kids, you can find us on TikTok too.
All right, now let's get into the show.
Welcome to Off the Cut episode 102, where today is known as Tuesday, February 13th, not 14th, which we'll get to that, 2024. And we want to continue to remind you that the worst podcast available on Apple and Spotify is, in fact, the Green Suiters podcast. But the best place to buy woodworking tools is...
KM Tools,
baby.
Hold on a second. I got to point out, Eric, you're freestyling because I read the show notes and that's not what the show notes say. You're slightly off script.
I think I changed it while you guys were discussing God knows what before we started recording.
But yes, that's right. Today's episode is brought to you by KM Tools. And actually, we had one of our patrons, Mr. Goblin Smacker himself, saying...
Goblin Spanker.
Oh, Spanker. Damn it.
Smacker something different.
Yeah, Smacker something different. Anyways, it was saying in the Discord that it sounds like we were saying Cam Tools because we just rush right through the KM. So he's looking out for Jonathan. He wants us to enunciate the K and the M.
So we'll give Jonathan some publicity here. It's Katz Moses, Jonathan Katz Moses, a.k.a. KM Tools, Katz Moses Tools. kmtools.com.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Why don't you tell them their slogan?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I got thrown off. We got these logos popped up. I thought I got struck by lightning for a second. So the thing about Cam Tools is that it's for woodworkers by woodworkers. So everything that they have is either designed by Jonathan and his team, or he's put it through rigorous testing, and it's stuff that he actually uses. And we all have stuff from KM Tools, and
a lot of
I'm
stuff.
A huge fan.
Great.
What's your favorite thing you got from him?
He sent me these Japanese saws, like a whole range of the. I can't pronounce it because I'm a stupid white person, but the Squeezen saws.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. Okay. So he sent me basically their entire range of saws, and I absolutely love those things. I use them all the time.
I think my favorite thing recently, I would say probably those CMT saw blades. Have you used one of those yet?
No, that's the next thing I gotta get.
They're great.
Yeah. Next paycheck, I'm gonna put in a little order over at Katz Moses Tools to get myself some new saw blades because I have this drawer of saw blades. I'm like, no, this one sucks. This one sucks. This one sucks. They all need to be sharpened, or there's something wrong with them, or something like that. I just need like 3 good, high quality saw blades.
Well, the ones from Jonathan, you can get resharpened like 1,000,000 times. The CMT.
Oh, I know. Oh, I don't doubt it.
But so we'll get back to that. But anyway,
yes.
So a portion of all their sales goes to the Katz Moses Woodworkers with Disabilities Funds, which gets tools and resources to the people who need it most.
And speaking of resources in the hands of people who need the most, he's also giving $50 every month to one of our Patreon supporters.
Yeah. So all you have to do is go over to patreon.com/offthecutpodcast. And that $50 gift card, you're automatically entered to win, as well as tons of other perks over there. And we checked the notes. Don Patterson, we announced he won again. And listen to this. I reached out to Don. And for everybody who was like, what the heck? He won twice in a row. Well, Keith Johnson picked the winner.
It's Keith's fault. You should be mad at Keith.
It's Keith. You always blame Keith. But anyway, so I reached out to Don and got him all connected and stuff. And he said, he goes, super nice of you guys. All I say is that if I do win again, please redraw and give it to somebody else. What a gentleman.
What a gentleman.
Who does that?
Champ. Well, our patrons are the best people in the world. I've often said this. So
agreed.
That tracks.
Pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
So huge shout out to Jonathan and Cam Tools sponsoring the show, and let's get right into it. So
Let's get into it.
I want to start off with an announcement.
Oh,
Okay, you guys probably know this. Today is February 13th.
yes.
Tomorrow, for everybody listening live, and if you're listening on Saturday, sorry, you're too late.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is February 14th. No matter what your partner says, they are expecting something.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
100%.
Okay. So I want to give a tip to all the
Cane
guys.
tools.
To all the guys out there. Don't waste your time and money going to buy some bogus card from the grocery store. You pay like $9. And that's a conspiracy on itself.
Oh,
Right there.
don't get me started on the greeting cards.
Right. What you do is you print off, or you don't even need to print off anything.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll show this live. You just get a couple pieces of, you don't even need construction paper, just printer paper. And then you get some markers, crayons, colored pencils, and you make your own.
Is this gonna get
Wow.
us banned from YouTube?
No. This is safe.
Okay.
So here's mine that I made for her.
Oh, wow.
So what it is it's me with a ridiculous mustache, and it says, "It's me. Hi, I'm your Valentine. It's me."
Me.
So for
Took me
anybody
a
who
second to
doesn't-
catch the T Swift reference there.
Yeah. But did you see? I got like glitter and stuff on it. I know.
Oh, yeah.
the glitter
It's
is
you
fun.
dressed up looking like Taylor Swift.
Yeah. So and then you write a message on the inside.
Got that out faster than your table build.
Yeah, I did. But I'm telling you, people, you make a homemade greeting card,
This is better.
they love it.
Yes.
right?
100%.
And
100%.
especially like I add, mine's always like a pop culture reference that's funny. She saves all of them and always sends them to her friends and stuff. I'm like, I'm getting points.
This brings up an interesting question that I have, because I like to save a greeting card because it's nice, you know. Somebody writes a good note, but how long do you keep a greeting card for? Because at a certain point, your whole house is just going to be filled with greeting cards, right?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Mine's a 30-day limit.
30-day limit, eh?
Okay.
But clearly, Miranda has different rules. So do you two have? Is there conflict about that?
She has. I'm pretty sure she has like every birthday card she's ever gotten from someone.
Yeah. Yeah.
She also keeps thank you notes from people.
See, I kind of line up a little bit more with her, but I also hate clutter. So the two dogs inside of me fight it out.
But do you ever revisit these cards? Do you ever read them again?
No, probably not. I mean, sometimes, like, I know they're there, but I don't know. I don't ever go back and reread them. That would be insane.
You've never been like, you're telling me you're not sitting on the couch thinking, man, that one card that Aunt Brenda sent me in the second grade, I have got to go read that again.
I gotta go read that. Yeah. No, that's never happened to me.
I mean, I get like if you kept all the cards from Sophie or something like that, and you're like, oh, here's like our Valentine's Day or anniversaries throughout the years or something like that. Like, I would get that. I don't know.
Yeah. No, it's a nice sentiment. I like the people that do, but it's just the anti-clutter part of me. It's like, you got to get rid of all this paper.
So do you and Sophie do anything for Valentine's Day, or are you guys like, this is stupid?
You know what our hack is? Like, we do a little something together, but we wait like 2 days.
Oh,
You push it out 2 days, and all of a sudden the price at the restaurant drops in half.
Right. If you were going to go out for dinner and you go on Valentine's Day, you're a fool.
We early on in our dating history, we went out for Valentine's Day one time, and we went to like a pizza place. It was like so pizza.
Right.
And I think the bill at the end of the meal, and keep in mind, this is like 8-9 years ago,
Yeah.
was $150
For pizza?
for mediocre pizza and like a couple drinks. And I think at that point we're like, F this. This is insane.
So a lot of these places have like fixed menus, right?
Exactly. So that's the thing. It was like I don't know, let's say $60 a head or something like that. And then you get a couple drinks and tax and tip. And yeah, it was like, crappy salad, some mediocre pizza, and then maybe a slice of apple pie or something. And you're on your way out the door.
Man.
Yeah.
You know what we're going to do tomorrow?
What's that?
We're going to go get a beer and then we're going to come home and make raviolis or something like that.
Nice.
It's going to be so much better. Like, we don't want to go do a bunch of crap. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm on board with that. We might go get a drink or something. And then,
we get no gifts.
Yeah, Valentine's gifts. By the time, so I get kind of hammered because there's Christmas, and then there's Sophie's birthday, and then there's Valentine's Day,
right?
And they're all within like 45 days of each other. Well,
right?
Yeah.
Set the bar low.
Yeah. So it's my pocket's hurting by the time it gets to Valentine's Day usually.
Zach, you've been with her long enough to pitch the, hey, what if we just don't do gifts thing?
That's true. But she gives good gifts, so I got to keep giving gifts, so I keep getting gifts. It's a vicious cycle.
So is this like? Have you guys read that like love language book? Are you familiar with that book?
Yeah, she tried to bring that up a while ago. We read it. I know. She might remember what my love language is.
Okay. So that's what I was going to ask. Are you the gift person?
Yeah.
We're getting deep tonight.
I think I like acts of service. I think was the one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say cheap pizza.
Yeah, cheap pizza is like number 2. There's primary and secondary.
What is it's? Deric, have you read this book?
No, I have not.
It's actually a pretty good book for people who are in relationships. It's easy read, and then it just kind of brings up some of those, I didn't know that about you. Like those kind of things. It's not like, tell me about like the most traumatic experience of your life. It's very casual conversation, but it's like acts of service, physical touch, quality time, gifts. Mm-hmm. And what's the other one?
This is why I'm a bad partner. I don't remember.
Communication?
Remember that's Sophie's.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, we're not here to be your love doctors. I can tell you that.
Right.
Yeah.
Wood doctors.
Yeah, wood doctors. Well, anyway, that's all I have to say about Valentine's Day. I just want to give people that hack. And if you're listening to this on Saturday or the 17th, it's too late. So sorry.
Yeah, you better have a damn good excuse if it's Saturday and you're just finding out for the first time.
All right. So what was your
prepared for next year?
Oh, yeah. Prepare for next year.
True.
There might not be a next year.
Yeah, also true.
So I've learned that anytime someone explicitly tells me, "Oh no, I don't want a gift for this," just something small, handmade card, or like, maybe the best thing you can do, Zach, is like she comes home tomorrow and you just go, "Hey, change. I'm gonna take you out for a drink." She's gonna be like, "Great, thanks."
Yeah.
Like, and then you just go get a drink, then you come home or something. You'll have a good conversation.
I like it.
Relationship hacks. We should start a dating podcast.
We should. We'd be good at that.
Like a call-driven dating podcast. Well, anyway, first, something I wanted to address from last week. One of our patrons, Ryan Nichols at Grayport Woodco, replied as we were talking to Keith kind of about phones and recording with your phones and stuff like that. He chimed in and he said, "Hey, this isn't for the podcast, but we're putting it on the podcast." But I was listening to the latest episode and Eric mentioned wanting to use an iPhone and a remote. I wasn't sure if you knew, but if you have an Apple Watch, you can use it to not only control your phone's camera, but it will show you what the camera sees. So you can make sure your position and everything really easily.
No way.
I use it when I film things.
Oh, holy crap. I had no idea.
That's nuts.
Yeah, that is nuts.
I didn't know that this useless watch could do something like that.
It can. The Android watches can do it as well. Yeah.
Really? Not my Android watch, but
if it's got a like the Samsung ones, I know can.
Okay, gotcha.
Some of the Fossil ones.
I have this.
Nuts.
I have a Samsung S22 Ultra, I think, and if I didn't have such fat fingers, there we go. I got a little pen in there, and I can take the pen out, and the pen can be a trigger for the camera.
Oh,
but obviously you can't see what the camera sees on the pen.
Well,
Yeah.
not with that attitude. Interesting, though. No, Ryan, thank you very much. I think that'll be helpful for a lot of folks out there.
Yeah, but honestly, no matter what camera you shoot with, go and get a remote trigger. It's going to save you a lot of editing time.
It's not going to happen.
It's like $25. It's like
it's so cheap. So my problem is like I have the thing on my camera where like if you haven't pressed a button in a while, it just goes to sleep to conserve battery. So will that remote wake it up as well?
That I could not tell you. It would probably depend on the camera.
Yeah.
Would pressing the shutter button on the camera wake it up?
Yeah.
Maybe.
But I don't know if it would wake it up and immediately press record. What if I have to record twice? And then what if I didn't know that the camera wasn't asleep and I pressed record twice, so then it started and stopped, and then I missed the whole scene that I was trying to film?
So the remote that I have for my actual camera that I film with has a little LED on it. And when I press and the camera communicates with it and says, okay, I'm recording now, a little LED light will turn red on the remote so that I know when it's recording, which is kind of handy.
Okay.
Okay. But that's a Sony specific thing. I don't know if Panasonic does that too. It might. I just don't know if they do.
See, this is where you start getting down these layers of all these tech things, and there's things that can go wrong. And like, all right, you get invested in the system, and then boom, it doesn't work anymore. Like,
yeah,
nuts.
Yeah. I also have my camera set up so that it's got like a tilty flippy screen so that you can rotate it and point it so you can see. But usually you're 10 feet away from your camera, so it can be a little hard to see if there's a little red dot on it. Right. Mine has a red ring that goes the whole way around the screen when it's recording, so you can see even at a distance.
Ooh, that's nice. I like that.
Yeah, it's good. A handy little feature. You got to turn it on in the settings though. It's not on by default. So anybody with a Sony camera, check that out.
I can't tell you how many times I've pressed record and then like fat fingered it and accidentally pressed it twice.
Yeah.
And then like I went
all the time.
Went to like go do this like speaking part, and then I go up to the camera. I'm like, damn it!
Damn.
Didn't press record.
When you record a speaking to camera bit, do you have that tilty flippy screen looking towards you, or do you tuck it away so you're not tempted to look at it while you're talking?
I'm glad you asked. I tuck it away because if it's there, then I'm going to shift my gaze sideways and be staring at the screen.
Yes, I used to do that all the time. It took me a lot of training in order to look at it. And I know that if you're having that double finger issue, it's probably because the screen's tucked away and you're not looking at it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's tough out here. Life of a content creator.
And here's the other thing I do all the time. When I move the camera, I'll often accidentally trigger the recording, and then I'll go to editing. It's like, I have a 15-minute clip where it's just looking at the floor.
Or it's me looking really confused at a piece of wood. I'm like holding it up like, what am I doing? Who am I? I get that a lot too. There's always some funny behind the scenes stuff.
True.
Well, speaking of behind the scenes stuff, what are you working on right now, Zach? What's going on? You finished the bedside tables? I know we haven't chatted personally in a while. We've had guests recently.
Yeah, we've been busy with the guests. So I finished the bedside tables. Today I was in the office. I was recording and editing 2 sponsor integrations for my next 2 videos. So
right on.
Just getting those all queued up and ready to go. It's been over 60 days since I released a video, so I'm starting to get a little antsy.
I gotta check mine. Okay, I'm gonna go on YouTube. Go ahead, though.
You released your last one, I think, a few days, maybe a week after I released my last one, I think.
Hold on. I opened up YouTube and look at this. Woohoo! You got a $0 bonus.
Oh, hell yeah.
Thanks, YouTube.
What is that? YouTube shopping? Is that what that is?
YouTube shopping. I don't even know what that means.
Wow, interesting.
Well, you got
and it says,
$0.
congratulations on a big November. Keep earning and tagging on shopping.
It's February and it's congratulating you on a big November.
But it's $0.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the whole thing is confusing the whole way through. I've never heard of YouTube shopping. It's the wrong month, and it's acting all excited over $0.
Anyway, my last video was 61 days old.
Yeah, so I think mine's like 65 or 68 or something.
Yeah. But I'm sorry. So when's your next video coming out?
I don't know. Whenever I get approval from these damn sponsors.
Yeah. Oh, I knew that. I sent one off, and they're like, "Oh, we're on vacation."
Oh, is it a Chinese company?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's Chinese New Year. So one of the companies I'm dealing with is a Chinese company as well, and they've just been really slow to respond to things since it's the holiday season for them.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. So
they said we're out office for CNY. I'm like,
yeah,
what?
Chinese New Year,
and it all makes sense now.
Yeah.
Now I feel like a moron.
Well, I mean, it's different culture. You can't be expected to know every culture around the world when they celebrate New Year's.
Yeah, but anyway, I'm sorry. So you're waiting to get those approved.
Yeah. So I was just doing one company got back to me with some simple revisions, did those, and then did the other one and got that all fired off. And you know how every time there's a video, when you finish a video, there's like a million little kind of houseworky things you can do for it.
The description, the tags,
exactly.
related videos, things that you
affiliate
mentioned.
links. Yeah, things you mentioned. I've been trying to go through lately and clean up the auto-generated captions.
Oh, Zach. Dude. Are you a masochist? Who has time for that?
Well, you just watch it once through. You're like, oh, there's a typo. Okay, delete that section. Oh, there's a typo. Delete that section. It's getting better, I will say. Like, I probably spend like 30 minutes on it or something for a 20-minute video. But and then all the other things, it adds up. So I was just kind of taking care of all that stuff today.
Is it just me or did Zach's audio get funky for a second?
It did get funky. I thought it was me.
Really?
Okay, now you're good.
Yeah, you're good.
Interesting.
I don't know.
I was
maybe
kind of
internet connection got laggy for a second or something.
Oh, maybe I was kind of fiddling with my mic absentmindedly too.
This guy. So what are these videos going to be? Is it going to be the nightstand?
No, so the nightstand will be coming out a little bit later. It's this is a old one. So the one that I'm waiting on approval for is I filmed it back in September, October. So this is kind of like a Spencer I'm doing. It's my DIY Dolby Atmos speakers.
Ooh, I'm excited to see this one.
Yeah, so that one it'll be fun, but it's like they're just trying to get it out there, try and wait for Chinese New Year's to finish, and then the other one is going to be my modern Dreamcast build.
Ooh, this is the one that you were going to like gold plate or whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
Are you going to talk about that failure in the video?
I did a little bit, but again, it's not like it's either I could either spend to properly explain it. I would have to devote like 3 or 4 minutes to it in a 20-minute video. So I make mention of it. It's like I tried a bunch of different finishes. I tried this, it didn't work. I tried that, it didn't work, and then that's about all it gets. Unfortunately,
I don't need to know the details.
Yeah, I figure I will eventually perfect that method, and then I will have a whole video where, I tell people how to do it, but just saying like, oh, I tried this and I screwed it up. It's like, whatever.
But in this video, you could spend time being like, and I spent a lot of trial and error, and like, here's some clips from a year ago where I tried this and it just failed miserably. I would find a lot of interest in that, like seeing you fail.
Yes.
And persist.
And,
right.
Truth be told, I think I know why it didn't work, but I don't actually know. So I also didn't want to speak out of turn and be like, well, here's the problem right here. I could have done this. I still need to order some chemicals and try a few other things to see if I can actually get it to work. So that's also part of the reason that goes into not including it in the video.
Fair. So you've been doing a lot of back-end stuff, getting these next two videos coming out.
That's right. What about you?
I'm kind of the same. I sent out a video for approval, and I just got it approved today.
Nice.
So I posted over on my Patreon page, and get this. This is one I forgot that I had.
Oh, nice.
It was one of those where it was... dude, it is from May 22nd, 2022.
Have we talked about it on the pod before?
So it's not a project. It's basically what I had done is I was like working on some stuff, and I'm like, I want to kind of make like a all-encompassing like how I mill lumber and like mistakes that people make all around it. It's one of these. I don't know if it's going to be super hot, but it's a video that kind of takes a lot of different tips and tricks that I've littered throughout other videos, and I've kind of compiled it all into one. So like, it might do okay, it might not.
What how you gonna package it and sell this one? What's the title and thumbnail and? Oh,
okay. So I'm glad you asked. Can I share my screen? I don't know how to do this. Okay, I'm gonna try to present screen, share screen.
Deric, we need some awkward music for when we're fumbling our way through something technical. Like Jeopardy music or something.
It's gonna look like this. So basically what it is it's a piece of wood that I took. It's very, very zoomed in, a piece of wood that I took a white pen and like highlighted all the growth rings and then put some arrows on it. And I'm pointing at it and it says 7 mistakes I regret not learning sooner. I don't love the title, but I might do something along the lines of like the biggest mistake woodworkers make or something like that. And
because
that's basically how I start out the video is like, lumber is super expensive. And if like you don't mill it correctly, you're just like basically shooting yourself in the foot from the start. So I'm going to take you through like my entire process and tell you like multiple ways to do each of these things if you don't have different tools. It might do well, it might not. And
I think that's it's got one of those like FOMO inducing titles, so I think it'll do well. Is it a long video? How long is it?
It's 20 minutes.
Well, that's a good length.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is one of these videos where like I was like, how do I do I'm trying to become more creative with my integrations, like ad integrations, not just like stop and be like, today's video is brought to you this, and it's just me talking. So what I do is like I kind of get you like 2/3 of the way through the complicated stuff, and I'm like, but this was really, this was challenging. Let's like quickly recap it. And so what I do is I recap the whole process, but then up in like the small corner, I just have like a little bit of like, little bit of the screen taken up, and that's where like the ad's going to be. And I like briefly talk about the ad, but the entire time you can watch what I'm doing, and I have like text overlay. It's like first you do this, then you do this. This is a tip here. Try this. So like I'm trying to engage people during the ad, if that makes sense.
For sure, I like that picture-in-picture thing because I think it's. I mean, it just gives people more incentive to not skip through that. You give them some value in return for them actually like sitting through something they potentially might not want to see.
But, so I don't know. We'll see how that one goes.
So let me ask you this about. So this is an old video that you didn't even remember you had.
My question.
It's you said May, so it's
almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years old.
Okay. So
I should say that's when the project was created in Final Cut Pro.
Okay.
So there's some clips from there. And then I've kind of like thrown some additional clips in there throughout the time. But I have some clips in here that are only like a month old. But I kind of talk about it, if that makes sense. And I'm like, oh, I bring in the lumber. I'm wearing one outfit. And then I'm like, oh, and then you have to let the lumber sit for a little bit. And I'm wearing another outfit. So like that natural transition of it have maybe been 6 months between those shots. It's like, it's okay, if that makes sense. Like it's not horribly off.
It's funny, the sponsor integration I just did. It's like it goes from me having like kind of long hair to because I had a fresh haircut last week. It's smash cut to me with a fresh haircut. It's like I don't think anybody's gonna notice. Who cares? But so let me ask you this: when you take a video that's that old, do you want to do you want to take all the things that you've learned in the last 2 years and like recut the video?
Yeah, but honestly, I was like, the parts that were old were not super critical parts.
Okay.
So you're right. I did adjust and change some things.
Yeah.
From that. I'm like, I wouldn't have done that. Actually, I do it like this now. Those are the newer ones where I did go back and like change a couple things.
I'm not so much in terms of like the technique, like how your woodworking has changed, but I just mean you as like a video creator. Like, did you edit it differently? Did you like change the VOs at all or anything like that?
Oh, yeah, a little bit. Not too much. Not too
Interesting.
much.
Because we just had that conversation last week about, going back and looking at your old videos and like, you're like, oh, my old videos really suck. So it's interesting, like, to take a video that's old. Like, I take stuff that I do, like, if I have a video sit on the shelf for 3 months, like I just did, I feel compelled to like, oh, I could do this better. Oh, I could do that better. And all these little like tweaks and stuff. And it kind of becomes endless. So it's kind of smart not to do it. Yeah. But it's, I feel compelled to do it. Like I have to for some reason.
No, most of the old footage didn't include voiceovers on it.
I see.
I did fresh voice on it.
I see. Okay. Gotcha. Because
I thought really just kind of using archival footage.
Yeah, in a sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you had this video like done.
No.
Okay.
No. But yeah, so I got that one. I sent that off for approval. I'm also, I'm working on another one that they're kind of being a pain. With the brand, they're like, it's for
Eric will say that Eric will say the name of the brand in the after show. He'll throw him under the bus in the after show.
Yeah. It's an online bank. Nothing wrong with it, but they're like, we want you to sign up for an account and make like your business account through this. And I said, no, because do you know how big of a pain it would be for me to switch all of my billing over to a new bank, all my direct deposits, all of my like
absolute nightmare
financial integrations over just for a sponsor?
So here's what I did because I think they probably want you to do it for legal reasons. Because I did an Instagram ad for a bank a while ago, and I couldn't say like my card or my account or anything like that unless I actually had an account with them. So I actually signed up for an account, did the ad, and then immediately afterwards just closed the account. Would that potentially be a solve?
So I've done an integration with them before, and they basically just gave me like, stock assets. Like, here's like a screen capture. I was like, can I just do that again? So So our agent Mark is fighting with them, and I think
I see.
I think we won. Like, because I was just gonna be like, I'm not doing. I am not setting up an entire new business checking account just for this. Hell no.
Thanks, a bank.
That is insane. That's an insane request. But to have somebody be like, for legal reasons, could you like open just an account? You don't actually have to use it or anything.
That's fine. Yeah. I'm not funding the account.
Yeah, exactly.
That's bananas, right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right. But anyway, so that video is going to be, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be that floating media console.
Yes.
Nice.
The one you guys have been waiting for. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to get some cameos in that one too. So.
Cameos. Other creators?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. It's going to be for humor's sake.
Okay.
But I don't want to spoil the surprise.
Is it clips of just me and Deric from the podcast?
Oh, it should be.
You fake it and make it look like we're talking on the phone or something?
Oh, it should be. It should be. But no, I'm super excited to get that one out. I'm working on knocking out the plans.
Nice.
And this is one thing I wanted to bring up. So that is the first project because I did it so long ago. I did it in SketchUp. And then as I was building it with the plans I'd made in SketchUp, I was like,
did it in SketchUp.
I did that. This is actually the wrong measurement because like the pieces not fit together. So I was like, I don't want to redo this in SketchUp now because I haven't used SketchUp in such a long period of time.
Yeah.
So I popped in on Fusion.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how much faster it is? I modeled that entire piece of furniture in Fusion in maybe 25 minutes.
Wow. Yeah. Fusion is just so much faster. It's crazy. Yeah.
it's like it has a steeper learning curve, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I did it in 25 minutes and like had like sliding, not sliding dovetails, but like, effectively like large dados, almost like mortise and tenons, if you want to call it like that.
Yeah.
And then you have the ability to output it to a drawing and then just use that dimension tool and like, and you're like, there are my plans. Like, are you kidding me?
Whatever you put into the front end of Fusion, you get out the back end, assuming you're doing any kind of 3D modeling, like, with any consistency or 3D modeling.
Right. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, why did I take so long to do this? And every time
I suggest it to people, I can see the reticence and the fear in their eyes. Like, oh, Fusion is so complicated. It's like, it's not though. It's really not that bad once you get used to it.
Right. Yeah. And so I'm so thrilled that I took the time to learn that program, and now it's going to make those plans so much easier. So I really just have to finish up the plans and then do once I get the stuff for the sponsor integration, I'll do the voiceover and stuff like that, but then I'll have that video out as well. So
heck yeah, nice.
Yeah,
it's exciting.
But you know what I did?
What?
So one, bought the Shaper Origin finally.
Ooh,
nice.
Haven't opened it up yet, but it came today. Other thing I bought, because I am so effing tired of milling lumber on the like the melamine sled, right? And we talked about this. I was like, I'm just gonna buy a benchtop joiner. I know it's not gonna be great, but it will be serviceable as long as I don't make a dining room table.
Get you through.
100%.
Right. Yeah. So I was like, I found this one it's a 10-incher, which is pretty wide.
Yeah.
It's helical cutter head.
Okay.
And it was like $700.
Okay.
So I mean, it's not the cheapest one in the world, but that's not what I was going for. I wasn't going for like a Wen. I think it's Wahula or something.
Wahula. Oh yeah.
Wahuda, thank you.
This looks nearly identical to my 8-inch jointer that I have. It's like the controls are all the same.
It looked like there are a bunch of different brands that literally have the exact same model with just different paint on it. I just saw that this was a 10-inch one.
Yeah, I think there's some Chinese factory that pumps these out as white label goods, and then companies buy them and then just brand them differently. But yeah, sweet.
So I think that comes tomorrow. I have no idea if it's going to be any good.
I assume if it's anything like mine, it'll be definitely better than using your planer. Let's just put it that way.
Better than nothing.
Right. Yeah. Right. And my whole thing, which I've always said for a while, is like, you should have experience using, not to, put down anyone that uses all certain tools, but you should have the experience of using crappy tools before you go buy a really nice version. So like if I just went out and bought a $15,000 Powermatic 40-inch jointer, I don't know, like whatever the biggest one they make, and have never used anything else because I've never used a jointer.
Yeah.
Like I might be like, yeah, this thing's fine.
Yeah. Do you ever play hockey as a kid or any sort of organized sport with the guy who had like, the
nicest gear,
$800 skates, but he was like the worst player on the team?
Right.
Yeah. That's what it is. Like you got to use the crappy stuff until you get your skill up, and then you appreciate the good stuff.
So I'm sure the joiner will work just fine, but I think I'll go, I wish it had this, or like I can see how the longer beds would be nice, or if it weighed more or something like that. But so Deric, do you have a bench top as well?
I do not.
No. Okay. Zach, you do.
I've considered doing the same thing though, just getting a little bench top one until I, earn my way with it and get the bigger one.
Because I mean, you're not getting a full size joiner worth a damn under like $1,500, $2,000, right?
Yeah. Well, you could probably get a 6-inch, but
why would you want
8s and the 10s
with a 6-inch?
It doesn't make any sense.
Unless you're just if you're face joining, you got to go at least 8.
Yeah, I agree.
But So what are the downfalls? What are the pitfalls of the benchtop joiner, Zach? Fill me in.
I wouldn't try to joint anything bigger than, like, say, 5 feet on it. Because then, I don't know how much you looked at the ad, but it's got these, like, slide-out bars that support the wood as you're going through. Those will flex if you put enough weight on them, right? Right. And then all of a sudden, you're not getting a perfectly planar face.
Okay.
Again, like the back fence is going to be a little bit flimsy. It's just a piece of extruded aluminum. So if you really wrench on it, you can get it to, I'm sure you can get it to move half a degree or something like that. And what else? Probably the adjustment isn't as precise on it. The helical head, even though it's a helical head, it's not going to have nearly as many cutters as like a full-size joiner's helical head would.
Right.
So it's just kind of this, I don't know, it's an awkward kind of middle ground, but it is a good way if you want to make a coffee table. Like, I would have no problem jointing the boards for a 4-foot coffee table on a benchtop joiner.
Okay.
I imagine stability might be an issue too whenever you're working those longer pieces.
Totally. And that's, comes down to how you install it too. You can a benchtop jointer you can just place on your bench, which, if you're getting into 6-foot lumber, that's going to be a little dicey. So you might want to bolt it or do something like that. Right. Like, I have mine bolted to a really wide cart, so at least it's nice and stable that way.
Right.
Yeah.
I figured this is something good for me to start with, though. Like, if I just bought a 12-inch, 16-inch jointer and never used one before, like, it's kind of scary, man.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you can mix. I mean, you can still cut your finger off with a benchtop joiner too, but it's, I don't know, something about the big ones is a little scarier.
Yeah. And especially after Jonathan had his run in, a year or two ago, where he cut off the tip of his thumb. I'm like, I am not going anywhere close to that jointer without some paddles and stuff.
Yeah, the jointer is one of those weird ones. It's like, if you're not using the paddles, you got to get your fingers like real close to that blade.
Right. No, thank you.
Yeah, because you kind of want to like push the piece of wood from behind without pressing down on it too much. So you can't really like push down with your palms and go forward. You kind of got to like hook around the back of the piece of wood and push it forward.
Right.
Which is exactly why they have those grabby things with the little teeth that come down at the back to grab onto the wood.
Yeah.
With technical terms, I'm using very technical terms.
Things.
You're probably, the little teethy boys that come at the back. Yeah.
Google it, joiner grabby things. But I'm looking forward to messing around with that and kind of seeing how that works out. I'm sure I'm going to have a lot of growing pains with, a brand new tool I've never used before. But
do you have a project that you're looking to use it for?
Not anything super specific. I mean, I've noticed myself being like, I'd like to work on this. And I'm like, I'm not milling down that lumber. Yeah. So I have like some side table ideas that I wanted to screw around with. I told you I want to try making a bathroom vanity, basically like a cabinet that's only going to be with us for several months. But I was like, I could use that and like mill down poplar or whatever for the face frame. Like, so I got some projects. And
sweet.
Did I tell you guys we're making a wine box? Did I tell you about
I don't think
that?
so. What's a wine box?
So Miranda,
obviously, put your wine in it. But.
She was like, for the wedding, she wants to do this thing where like, you put in like a bottle of wine and then you like write each other a note or something, and every like 5 or 10 years you like open up the notes or something like that, and then you like drink the bottle of wine or.
Okay.
She was like, well, what if we like made the box? Because she's like, I haven't made anything in the garage with you for a while. I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Ooh. Here we go. Shape or origin. Some sort of really nice inlay in the lid.
That's how I talked her into letting me buy it.
There you go. Nice.
I was like, so this wine box. I go, I got an idea. How about we get this thing? Because she's aware of it. Like, she saw me use it when I was at like the festival charity thing, and she was like, "What is that?"
Yeah.
She was aware of it, so I thought it was pretty cool. And then when I told her, I was like, I'm thinking about doing this. And she's like, oh, it's kind of expensive. I was like, yeah, it's not cheap. And I said, but we could make gifts for all of your friends and presents, and like we could like do this and this. She's like, okay, yeah, let's get it.
Yeah.
So there you go, gentlemen. Position it to your
Yeah.
ladies that you're gonna make custom gifts.
It's a Valentine's Day gift for you and her.
You know what you should have said is when she said it's very expensive, you should have said, yes, but I'm worth it.
But you're worth it.
But you're worth it. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad. But no, I'm excited to pop open that Shaper Origin thing, man.
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun
world
one.
of CNC stuff, and
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Actually,
I got all the stuff with it.
I don't know if you saw it, but again, Mr. Goblin Spanker had a question for you in the Discord about the Shaper Origin. He wanted to know if the power supply was 100 supported 110 volts to 240 volts.
240. I don't know. It's got a standard like 110 plug on it.
But a lot of the time, they'll just change the plug, and they'll make the internal, transformer in it or whatever able to accept voltage, so they can sell the same product all around the world without.
I don't see. Oh, the spindle. Okay, there is a 240 volt spindle, but it says it will only be used on Shaper Origins marked with 240 volt on their product.
Oh, so maybe they have a specific 240 volt version for Europe then.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes, because this is shapertools.com/en-gb-store.
Great Britain.
England, Great Britain. Because this one is in pounds, and it also says it comes with an 8mm collet as opposed to a 1/4 inch.
Okay. So there is a little bit of regionality going on there. Okay.
Yeah.
Because he also asked about my Bamboo Lab 3D printer. And so I checked the back of the Bamboo Lab, and it'll take 110 to 240 volts. So they just have a consistent power supply across all their inventory.
Oh, see, I didn't even think about that. It probably makes it much easier for them, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Manufacture one thing.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. But yeah, pop that thing open and see where that goes. I got that interesting. Have you seen the Shaper Trace? That's like this frame, and you take a photo of it, and it instantly converts anything to a SVG file.
Yeah, that is so cool. I was talking to Sean Kirsch about that. It's so, I don't know. I would like to get that. Even without a Shaper, like I could use that for CNC. I could use that for 3D printing. Like just to be able to quickly capture an SVG like that is so awesome.
Right.
Like
and it
measurements
was
of something.
Super cheap.
Yeah.
It's like $100 or something like that.
Yeah, $99. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
what's
are
it
you
called
kidding
again?
me?
Shaper
Trace.
Is it?
It's basically just a big picture frame that has like a bunch of random dots, like they're like domino tape around it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Picked it up. I'm excited to use it.
It's on pre-order right now for Canadians. Oh, I hate being Canadian.
Well, I can buy one and just give it to you at Workbench Con.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I'll talk to Sean at Workbench and be like, is it going to come out in Canada soon, or should I get Eric to get me one?
Right. But the neat thing is so let's say you want to cut out some foam, or you want to cut out
true.
Like wood. If you have a screwdriver or whatever, you can literally just drop the screwdriver in there, take a picture of it.
Yeah.
And then now you can cut out a perfect little slot to put the little screwdriver in if you're trying to organize stuff, or I don't know.
Oh yeah, you could take all of your those custom tool inserts. You could take your whole workbench of tools, lay them out on a table inside the trace, take a photo of it, and then you can make your own little tool organizer in seconds.
Interesting you say that, because when you buy one of the accessories or whatever, it comes with the sustainer with just a solid block of foam. And then it comes with cut files for all of the clamps and collets and bits and stuff like that. And that's the first project that they basically want you to do is cut your own foam, a little custom insert for the sustainer, so it all packs in there.
Oh, that's a good idea.
All that. They were ahead of you, Zach.
Yeah. Damn it. I guess they do get paid to do it, but
yeah, But I don't know. It's got me like the whole shaper trace and stuff has got me thinking about like other tools. Like, what other like groundbreaking tools can they really come up with? Like, has everything been created? Like,
no, I think that's the magic of it. You gotta like, who would have thought the shaper trace before some person had that idea?
Right.
Like, it's I don't know. It's that's the magic of a good product. Is like you give something that people didn't even know they wanted.
yeah.
Like that's half the genius of being an inventor, right?
What about a drill that has some sort of gyroscope in it with a digital readout that you can be like, I want this drill to like stay at 90 degrees. Do you think it would be able to like tilt and like keep itself at a perfect 90? Like, I'm trying to think of like
I think you're describing the shaper itself, aren't you?
No, but I mean saying like a drill.
Yeah. It'd be cool. I don't know if you could have it like stand up on its own, but you could have a little LCD screen on the back of it that says, you know, you're holding it perfectly 90 right now.
Yeah, we've seen those,
but
haven't we?
if you move it all.
Is there something like that?
There is something like that. There's a drill with an
I didn't know.
LCD screen on the back of it.
Really? Drill that shows angle?
But I mean, I guess where I'm going with this is like every year they come out with, you know, old DeWalt, Milwaukee, Ryobi's got their newest cordless drill. It's the same damn thing as what was out last year and the year before.
Yeah. You know, like, oh, it's 10 foot more pounds this year. You're like, I didn't need the 10 foot more pounds. I could have used some more features.
Right.
Let's get some innovation going.
So Deric, you found is this that Hodo drill or whatever?
Hodo, yeah, that looks like a Hodo to me. What's the LCD screen on the back of it actually show? Does it show the angle? Because if it does, I'll buy it.
Shows it.
Gonna buy it right now. I think it looks like it's the battery life.
Yeah, it looks like battery life. I can't tell.
How much is this thing?
But I mean, like, how difficult would it be for them to build in a gyroscope or something to detect the angle you're at?
It's in every phone, so it's got to be like a relatively cheap commodity thing. Yeah, I don't think it's just angle.
$150. It should have it in there. If it doesn't, they're missing out.
Yeah.
But I mean,
these Hodo tools are interesting because they're like just like trying to make like sleek looking tools, but I don't know if they're actually any good.
I've got they're like Dremel, and it's trash.
Yeah. They look a little too sexy to actually be good at what they do.
Useful, yeah.
If you put like a little like cutting wheel on it and give it any force at all, it just stops it. Yeah.
It doesn't say anything about measuring the angle or anything, so I imagine it doesn't. I imagine if they had that would be front and center on their page.
Yeah, I agree.
So here's the problem with that, though. Take a good look at any of the drills that you own. It looks like you tied a chain around them and drug them behind your car on the highway. You know what I mean? If you put an LCD screen on a drill, it's going to look like hell.
Well, yeah.
Or crack.
There's some way to do it. I mean,
throw a little Bluetooth on your phone.
Yeah, I wouldn't. You wouldn't actually use that though.
So I got to drill with this hand and look at my phone the other.
Well, you just set the phone off to the side, but yeah.
Yeah, I've got a laser level that connects to my phone via Bluetooth. I've owned it for 4 years now. I don't know what the Bluetooth function does because that's too much work for me.
Is it one of those things where you're supposed to get like the sticks and you're supposed to get like the reflector and you would go off like 100 feet outside if you're like grading a slope? And you're supposed to be able to read like the rise and run of the slope or something like that?
Maybe.
I like that response. Maybe. It's actually beyond my pay grade.
Look, if it's not like, I don't know. I don't like things that we talked about this before. Friction. I hate the friction. You know, if I got to pull out my phone in order to use my laser level, I'm not going to do it.
No.
So, you got to pull out your phone in order to use the shaper tool trace.
Yeah, I mean, if there was that's true, but that's a pretty unique thing. But it's a good point. I guess I'm a liar.
Lawyered. Got lawyered by Deric.
Damn it.
But can you think of any other tools that you're like, if they did this, it would be revolutionary.
You know what they should do on going back to drills is they should put a reinforced metal plate on the back of the drill so you can use it like a hammer occasionally.
This is my version of the hammer drill. I think we've talked about this in the past.
Yeah.
But I actually want it on the bottom of the battery.
Oh yeah, that would work too.
You're drilling in and then you're like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
You can't tell me you've never done that with drywall anchors.
All the time. All the time.
Everyone has.
Yes.
Everyone. Hammer drill. Mm-hmm. But that market segment's already taken.
That name is taken.
Yeah.
But nobody actually has a drill that you can hammer with, do they?
I don't know.
Okay.
I have a confession to make. And maybe this is my ignorance.
You thought a hammer drill was a drill with a hammering plate on the bottom of it?
No.
Okay.
When I first started looking at power tools, and like you'd go on Home Depot, right? Because you're like, oh, it's Father's Day. I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna just take over Home Depot. They're losing money on this. They're not. They're still killing you on these things. And I'd go and like, okay, I want to find a combo kit that's got this, and this. And I was so confused. I'm like, this brand doesn't make a regular drill. They only make a hammer drill. I don't need a damn hammer. Or like, I don't need the hammer function. I just want to be able to drill stuff. Mm-hmm. Did you think that when you first started? Or is it because I was just completely uneducated about tools? Like the hammer drill, you can turn off, but I never knew that.
I knew that, but I think, like I've been working around power tools since I was like 6. So I'm sure there was some time when I didn't know, but I learned before I started buying my own tools,
Right. Like you just go click and the hammer drills off. Because I was like, I don't want that on all the time.
But here's the thing. I've got I've had probably like 4 to 5 cordless drills in my lifetime that had the hammer drill functionality on them, but it was useless.
Yeah.
Maybe you could use it on brick, maybe. But to use it on concrete or something like that, like it was completely useless.
You need an SDS drill or like a rotary hammer.
Yeah, so for the longest time, I had these hammer drills. I'm doing air quotes for everybody listening, but I would also have a corded hammer drill because it was just so much better. It was only in the last like 5 or 6 years that I was like, oh yeah, these cordless hammer drills actually work now.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I used mine like just because I had never had to drill into concrete, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna try to drill in regular mode, and then in hammer mode, I was like, oh, this actually works pretty well.
Yeah. If you got the right bit and it's in the hammer mode with a relatively modern tool, it actually works pretty well. But the ones back in the day, they used to suck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you using the hammer mode on wood or concrete?
Oh, both, man.
Eric, whenever he was using it.
Oh, dude, if you're plowing holes, like if you've got like a spade bit in there.
Yeah, it's true.
Dude, hammer mode. Who cares?
Yeah, screw it. Try throwing a spade bit on an impact gun. That works pretty well too.
Oh, does it?
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and you probably don't get that wrist torque either.
Yeah, you don't, because it's just like, boop, 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 boop. Yeah, it's nice.
Oh, okay.
I've always wondered why, like I go to Home and hey, here again, this is my ignorance on tools. You go in like Home Depot or whatever, and you go down the aisle. There's always, where they have like the little combo kits with like the bits and the drivers and the bit tips and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Why do they make drill bits drill bits that have the hex shank on them that like fits into an impact? Do people just drill holes with impacts?
Yeah, that's a good question. I've actually wondered that. Yeah. I mean, I've definitely done it before because I was like, I don't want to go get the drill, and I have this hex shank drill bit in front of me.
And it's quick change.
It's quick change, so I guess some people must still do that. Yeah.
Deric, do you know what we're talking about? You've seen those, right?
Yeah. I assumed it was just because for the quick change aspect of it. I didn't assume anybody was using it on the impact driver.
Does anybody have a drill that has the quick change on it? I guess you can get an adapter.
No, not built in. It's always something you add, you chuck in.
That would be kind of cool, though. I would actually potentially buy a drill, speaking of innovations, that had a quick change head. It's like, yeah, you're never going to use it with anything bigger than like a 3/8 drill bit, but that's probably 90% of the drilling I do as a furniture maker.
Heyo. Well, I've got one for you, but yeah, have you ever heard of the Festool Centro Tech thing or whatever?
Is that their proprietary quick change system?
Yeah, it's like a longer heck shank thing. They make like drill bits for that. They're all quick change and stuff, which is nice. I've never used it. I have it. I've never used it. I even have the bits. I've just never used them.
My assumption with that is that every bit must then cost like $30 to $40.
If you're gonna buy them, you buy it in this ridiculous, like huge set.
Yeah,
and you save tons of money. But if you buy like single bits, it's not worth it.
So every time you've ever bought one of those big sets, what's the percentage that you use of them average?
Oh, great question. 10, maybe?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So much of it just goes to waste.
Yeah, so much of it just goes
But
to
how
waste.
much time do you spend in the store going, okay, well, yeah, that one has...
Yeah,
this has got 27.
It's got a T30. That one only goes up to T20. And
I do the math, and I'm like, okay, this one's got 60 pieces. That's $50. So that's 80 cents a bit. This one's $36, but it comes with 40. So per unit, I'm actually getting slightly screwed on that.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But it's so much better just buy a completely new set as opposed to going and being like, I'm going to buy 6.
Replace this one thing.
Yeah, 6 2-inch T25s and then 3 2-inch Robertson number 2. Just buy an entire new bit set.
Yeah.
But then
Often those common ones, they include a few extra of anyways.
Yeah,
I do like that when they get, you get a couple number 2s of everything. It's like, okay, nice.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to do that is to just throw out my bits and bobs. Like, do you guys have like a yogurt container that's just filled with random bits?
And they're rusted.
All the stuff you get from all the makeup furniture, the IKEA furniture bin.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's like 10 IKEA Allen keys in there.
Yeah.
And all the like the Robertsons are rounded over, your Torx bits are rounded over, but you're like, I think I got a couple more screws left in this. Just throw it out.
Just throw it out. I've been wanting to go and get like a good complete set that's like, here's every bit 2 times. And it comes in a nice little container.
So how do you feel about 2-inch bits versus like the 1-inch stubby bits?
Those 1-inch ones, throw those things in the garbage. I hate them so much.
So I agree because they always come out of the damn magnetic tips.
Yeah.
But I bought the most expensive bit tip holder I could find.
Okay.
I haven't gotten it yet. But I'm going to report back to you guys and tell you if it actually works. Because I have the DeWalt one. It's a locking one. But the locking mechanism gets jammed up.
Yes, I had the exact same one. It's like a little, here comes the explicit, but it looks like the tip of a penis, right?
Yeah, we'll let it slide. It's,
and
it's human anatomy.
Anatomically. Yeah.
It worked for a long time. And I was like, oh, thing is great. I can finally use all of the little 1-inch
of them.
bits. Oh, it's a bitch by mistake. I meant to say bits. Well, we got the explicit in no matter what. I was like, this is great. I can use all the 1-inch bits that I've accumulated over the years and never used. And it was great for a little while, but then it jammed up and I was like, I hate this. I hate everything about the 1-inch bits.
I even tried to like lube it up. But the problem is like you can slide the collar down, but it needs to go like a millimeter further to release the bit and it won't.
Have you ever been super desperate and put one of those 1-inch bits directly in an impact gun?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm glad I'm not the only one.
I'll be curious to know if whenever you pay more for the tip, if it works better.
Yeah.
It was
I
think it was $45 for one magnetic bit tip holder.
Holy. Is it Festool?
Yeah.
No, it can't be. Oh, it is. Okay.
I bought 2 of them just because I was like, well, if I'm buying one, I might as well buy 2.
I always do this thing like, you need like a number 1 fill. Is number 1 small or number 1 small, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
A number 1 Phillips. I was searching the shop everywhere for one the other day. was like going through. I have my like bits on the bench. I was like going through those. Like, okay, it's not there. Okay, I'll look in some of the drill cases. Oh, not there either. I'll look in some of the toolkits. Oh, not there either. And it was like, why do I do this to myself? I could buy a complete set of bits for like $15, and I would have just saved myself 45 minutes of looking.
Oh,
Yeah,
but we're cheap.
we're cheap. Yeah,
That's why I still have all the old bit cases, even though I don't use them anymore.
Right.
exactly. Right. You never know. You never know.
Well, we got a lot to do tonight. We've got an exciting announcement. Tonight is our monthly Bring Your Own Camera live chat with our patrons.
That's right.
BYOC.
So there will be no after show tonight, but we will have an after show next week. And next week we have a guest, or is the following? Is it the 27th? Let me look.
Yeah, it's the 27th. Next week.
27th.
No,
We got a guest.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So we'll have a regular after show next week, and then we'll have a guest. Patrons already know who the guest is going to be,
That's right.
but we'll keep that surprise for everyone else. But
27th. That's right before Workbench Con.
Yeah.
Dude, I know.
So pumped.
It's coming up.
2
I'm
weeks.
pumped, but it's like, it's coming up too fast. But
Eh.
anyway, we want to give a huge shout out to our returning top tier patrons. We've got
Heck yeah.
Renee, aka the Goblin Spanker, Dan Armendariz, Luke Schmidt, Josh at Freedom Workshop, Corey Duvall, Dadu, and we also want to thank everyone else who listens to the show. We truly couldn't do this without all of you guys. And if you want to support, you can go to patreon.com/offthecutpodcast, but you can also just share the podcast with a friend. That's all we ask.
Or leave us a 5-star review, and we'll read it on air.
Yeah.
No matter what.
No matter what.
You still got to get back to doing those. But yeah.
Yeah.
So again, everybody, no after show tonight. We're going to head over and do the Bring Your Own Camera call with our patrons. And if you want to join that, just head over to patreon.com/offthecutpodcast. And remember, only you can prevent the Green Suitors podcast.
Oh, we didn't get a burn in.
That's all we ask.
We just did.
Yeah.
Available on Apple and Spotify. All right, everybody, take it easy. We'll see you next week.